Hi guys, welcome back to DressYourFaceLive.com. Today's class is a Halloween special. It's something that you guys have been looking forward to. I've been looking forward to all year long. It's actually one of my most favorite classes I ever do, and I do those like anniversary classes a lot, and the Halloween special is like by far my favorite. I am a little extra excited this time because I know that I included you on trying to figure out what theme we wanted to do for this class. And a lot of you suggested that I do some sort of dead bride or corpse bride, but Indian style. And so when I was searching for hashtags on Instagram just to get some inspiration, I found this really amazing photo that I'm wondering if we can just pop up actually. It's a photo by Hate Copy, and it is an incredible artwork. It's so badass. It's basically this amazing looking, like freakishly psycho looking skeleton, and that skeleton has Indian jewelry on it, and it's like a full-on bride almost, but a skeleton. So I thought, you know what, I really want to try this on myself as a model. So I pulled back my hair. I'm wearing a really well, it's not that light anymore. Earlier, this base was like super white, but I guess I oxidized it a little. And I'll tell you what color I used on my face right now. And I'm going to do my rendition of it. And I have some jewelry that one of my students gifted me. And I have my dupattas from my Lashkara collab, which I will be using as my costume. So I thought this would be really cool for those of you out there who have ethnic backgrounds, or even if you don't have a specifically ethnic background, if you have like a formal dress or a bridal gown or bridal jewelry or anything, whether you're Indian or Ethiopian or just white American, like it doesn't matter. If you have something that you can wear that's appropriate for a wedding, you can totally be like your people bride and just do this like crazy skeleton look. And it's so Halloween and so cool, and you don't even need a costume because most likely you have everything at home that you're gonna need. So I'm just going to jump in. Like I said, I have on my base already. By the way, I did a semi-permanent brow tattoo which is why it's really dark. It hasn't healed. I just did it a couple days ago, or like 3 days ago. So it's gonna look a little crazy before it looks good. But I did add a little bit of powder myself to it just for the sake of this class. And the base that I'm using is Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer number 7. I'm normally like a number 8 and 9. I mix the two, but I use 7, which is like a solid shade lighter, just to look a little bit more pale than normal. But again, I'm being an ethnic bride. I'm being an Indian bride. And even though I'm going to be a skeleton and all our bones are the same color, I did want to retain some of my brown girl quality. So I'm not going to go super white with this. I'm going to add some white in there, but I'm not going to turn my whole face white. But of course, you guys at home can do it however you guys want. So I guess the first thing that I'm going to do, like you can choose if you want to do your eye makeup first or your face makeup or whatever. I would probably want to do at least my like base work done first. So I have my foundation. I'm gonna work a little bit more on brightening up my cheekbones to bring out that skeletal feature and darkening up the hollows of my cheeks a little bit. And I'm gonna kind of go from there. I do have some new products that I wanted to show you. This is all from LA Girl Cosmetics. This is the LA Girl HD Pro Conceals. And I picked up a few here. This is what they look like. They're so good. You guys already know I've been using HD Pro Conceals for like forever, and it's been a part of our DYFL goodie box like from the beginning. And I kind of switched through and tried like different products from LA Girl because I'm honestly like truly a big fan of their products. They just expanded their line, and now they have a white Pro Conceal, which is actually used to mix with other colors to brighten them up or neutralize. So I'm going to use this a lot. And I also picked up the darkest one, which is Truffle. And this is a super dark chocolate color. And on me, it looks very dark and amazing. So I'm going to use this for the skeletal hollows. And then there's a couple of highlighters that they came out with, which are cream highlighters that you can use to add glow to the skin and add some highlight here and there. So there's a very light one and more of like a champagne one, which I'll kind of play around with. So right now I'm gonna do those. And I'm just gonna squeeze out, actually before I even do that, I'm gonna show you a little bit of that white. I'm gonna bring it up in here. So I'm gonna squeeze some of that white onto the back of my hand. This is, look at that. I mean, it's white. It is white, white. And I will use, what am I gonna use? I'll just use my regular foundation brush that I've been using on myself. This one is from PAC Cosmetics. This is found in India, but I know that Morphe has like absolutely the same thing. So you can definitely go on Morphe brushes to see what they have. But I'm just using this, it's a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to brighten up the cheekbone area. And I'm gonna try to not talk while I'm actually working because I really want an amazing IG video out of this, and I don't want my lips moving so much. So I'm just going to explain to you what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna do it. So it's gonna be kind of different from my other classes. So as you can see, I just added this nice brightness across my cheekbone area, like in a crescent, avoiding the orbital area, which is the socket where the skeleton doesn't have a bone. I'm gonna grab a little bit more white here. Oh my God, I'm probably gonna run out of this white. I'm gonna need them to send me like 4 more of these. And again, just dabbing a little bit. I don't want to paint it on directly right now because again, I just want a little bit of that highlight glow, right? So I'm just stamping and letting it blend as I'm doing it. So you guys can see that brightness right around here. I'm also going to add a little bit of brightness above my brows on this bone right here. And you can be as strong or as subtle as you want. And lastly, I'm going to brighten up my chin. So this is just kind of laying the groundwork. Of course, we're gonna go way more dramatic than this, but this is really just for me to kind of get that shaping in and kind of learn about my own features to see what's gonna look more skeletal. Now I'm going to focus on kind of adding a little bit of like a shimmer highlight here. Like I said, I'm gonna be a bride, so I have to be glam, right? I don't wanna just be a skeleton. So I am going to be adding the a mixture of the LA Girl Pro Conceal shimmer highlights, and this one is called Champagne and this one's just called Highlighter. I'm gonna put them both on the back of my hand. I'm mainly gonna use the light highlighter, the white one, and I'm just gonna do like a dab of champagne in it, and I'll just use the same brush to apply. And I'm basically gonna apply this mixture on like the peaks of my bone structure to add that glow. So this is what that is right here. I'm just gonna kind of mix it with the back of my brush. And it has this kind of iridescent glow, a little bit of that pearly shimmer. And dipping right in. And we're gonna add that layer. I'll also do my chin. And above my brows. And by the way, the whole purpose of most of my Halloween classes is to allow you guys to be able to create a Halloween look without having to go to a Halloween store and buy specialized makeup or anything like that. Sometimes I might do something that will require a little bit of extra stuff, but for the most part, especially in today's class, this is all stuff that I already had. I didn't actually shop for anything specific. So I now have a little bit of that brightening on. I'm now going to just set it with some shimmer highlight powder so that it doesn't move. So this one is Anastasia's That Glow Kit. It's the OG Glow Kit. And I'm just gonna be using a little bit of dripping in gold and bubbly just to create more of a golden tone right across the edges of my cheekbones here. And I'm using a fan brush, just any basic fan brush. Just so it looks a little bit more golden, less silver. Because the jewelry that I'm using is more gold. Okay. I also do want to add a little bit of the shimmer highlight, whatever was left on my brush, on just the very edge of my nose bridge. And I can actually just literally just draw that on. And then set it with some of that gold. Okay. So now that the light part is done, I'm going to go in with the dark. So this is the truffle, the dark brown. And I'm actually just gonna go right in and start carving and kind of play around with it. I'm not sure how high I wanna go, how low I wanna go. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it at this point. So I'm just kind of creating a very, very high carving in my cheek. So I'm kind of going off of where the edge of my ear is connecting to my head right here, my face, going in and then curving down as I'm getting towards the apple of my cheeks. So something along this layer right here, this level. And then once you start drawing, you can always adjust it as needed. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and take some onto the back of my hand. And I'm gonna be perfecting my edges and I'm gonna start shading it in. So for now, I'm just doing that. just to start kind of shaping up. Now there are many ways to create a skeleton face. You could just do like the C shape here. I did one on Sydney Lee as my model a couple years ago, that pinned skeleton look, where I had it kind of like a little bit more scooped. So it's really up to you how you want to play with it. There's so many ways. Now before I move on to another area, I want to blend it because this stuff dries pretty quickly. So I want to be able to kind of work with it a little and blend it. So I'm using another small brush. This is the PAC 273 brush, just to work this down and to soften the edges. And you can absolutely use your fingers to further smooth. And you may have to do a little bit of a back and forth until you're really happy with the gradient. If I need more product, I can always just go ahead and add some fresh product in there and work it in. Okay, so once you kind of have your cheekbone area carved out, I'm going to move on to nose and forehead. I do want to do a little bit right in through here, the temple area. This is kind of like above the temple, but because I don't have such a large like temple area, I have to go a little bit higher for the sake of the class. And I'm going to use a smaller shading brush. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills A3. Just to kind of create a little bit of a shading effect. And the nose. You can decide how big you want the cavity of the nose to be. I'm not going to go super, super dramatic with it, like in the skeleton video that I did. I'm just going to do like a cute little cavity here. Okay, that's that. And now I'm gonna work on kind of giving myself, I don't wanna say an angry brow bone, but maybe a little sad, like a sad Indian bride. I kind of wanna, like off of this artwork, the artwork had some black tears coming out on the side. And so I wanna kind of create that like more emotional aspect here, but like a psycho-emotional. And now before that dries, I'm gonna shade it with this. And I'm bringing it down a little bit to begin creating a little bit of a socket here. And I'm going to take this opportunity to work on the outer socket as well. Now, I am an Indian bride, so I wanted to do one of my like signature glitter eye makeup looks, but I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm going to, again, lay the foundation down. So I do want to kind of cut right in through here. And connect that with the brow. And blend right away. This is going to act as my eyeshadow base for that. I'm also going to smoke out the under eyes. And this will begin that socket effect. And for the edges, you got to use a smaller brush to really kind of detail it. So the shape is starting to kind of come along here. I'm just dabbing down on the nose as well, just to make sure there's no chunks of paint sitting on there, because I do have to set all this with shadow as well. Okay. So we're for now okay on the base work. Now it's time to start with the detailing. So I'm going to jump away from the eyes for a second, and I'm going to focus on my mouth. So first things first, I just want to cover up my mouth with the foundation that I was wearing. And the powders that I'm working on are the I Heart Makeup Contour Palette, the one that was in a couple of our DYFL goodie boxes, and this is from LA Colors. I have been using this every day on myself and on all my models, and it is phenomenal. Like, every time I use it, I just get more and more impressed, and I find ways to mix it and kind of have fun with it. So going back to this brush, actually, I'm dipping into the lightest shade. And I'm neutralizing the lips. Also, I just want to soften up the blend between that light bone area and my own skin. So I'm just kind of making that a little bit more flawless there. Okay, cool. Now I want to start working on detailing with the white corrector from LA Girl. Using a little bit onto the back of my hand, and I'm going to use the applicator to create teeth as well as a little bit more popping bone structure on my face. Well, I guess I should do the bone structure first, since I'm already kind of working on that part. And I'm just going to soften it up with my fingers. I'm going to add a little more. Okay. And I'm just kind of setting the areas that are just still a little bit wet on my face. I just don't want it like getting too runny. Okay. I'm not going to worry too much about this area because I'm going to add glitter there later. Okay, I guess I'm good then. What we'll do is probably just add a little bit of that white right around here. And that's marking the edge of the orbital bone. Just so it looks a little bit more crisp. Okay, now let's do the teeth. This is gonna be like a very, very weird look, but it will all come together. So I'm gonna work on creating teeth going straight up over my lips. And it's kind of going to be like little teardrops, but think of the roots of your teeth. Sometimes it's like two. So just kind of see what looks good. So I'm going to have them kind of going up. I'm going to start working on my bottoms, and remember the bottom teeth are going to be smaller than the tops. Okay, so the teeth are done. You can go as far out as you want, but because I cut my cheekbone right down here, I don't want to go over that for my particular look, but there have been like other tutorials where, you know, they go all the way out. So it's completely up to you. I want to look very, very petite, so I don't want to widen my jaw anymore. So once the teeth are on, this is looking so funny. We're gonna start detailing with some black pen, but we're gonna do that afterward. I think right now what I wanna do is to go ahead and set my dark with appropriate powder colors, and I wanna set the teeth once it dries. I'm gonna give it a while to like set, and we'll kind of just set all the rest of the face that we haven't set yet. So starting off with a really, really dark eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Sultry palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It has all the grungy tones that we need. So basically there's, you know, blacks, grays, browns, golds, you know, all the metal shades. It has everything we need. So I'm just gonna really just use this palette. And then for softening up edges, I am gonna continue to use the contour palette from LA Colors. So I'm starting off with that little eye shading brush. This is the A3 from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm going to start off with Noir, which is the black color. And I'm giving more life to my contour zones. Please also notice that I'm using the most concentration right on this edge here to really look like it's sharp and it's sunken in. And I'm fading it on the edges just so it looks, I guess, more sophisticated for a skeleton, you know, like it's not just black and white. There's a lot of that smooth gradient showing there. So I am kind of lightening up that black as I go down and as I move in towards my hollows. Play around with the gradient until you're happy with it. And also we are going to be adding like dark brown, light brown, and flesh tone, just so the gradient's really smooth. But starting off with black, I just want to make sure that I have enough of that black on. Okay, so the black is done there. I'm also going to add black right into the temple area too. And I'm just letting it fade. The top edge, I'm connecting it into my hairline, but I'm gonna let it fade. And essentially it's gonna kind of look like a cute baby hair once we're done with like all the bridal stuff. But obviously you guys know it's a temple hollow. Okay, I'm now going to also kind of work a little bit of that black into my crease. Although I really want to do my eyes afterwards, but I'm going to start working it in. Also, I'm being very careful to only apply the amount that I'm using at that moment onto my brush so it's not like flying all over the place. And I'm also not sweeping like crazy. I'm being very, very precise with my application. So I'm going to start kind of smoking the area around my eye. Okay. I do want to leave some areas not so black because I am going to paint some of those like lower lashes and the teardrops from the artwork, and I'm incorporating it into this eye. So now we're going to do the same on the other eye. Also, if you just want to do a full smoky eye, that's fine too. It'll all work. But I can't do an Indian bride without glitter, so definitely gonna go glam. Okay. Now I'm gonna switch back to a blending brush. This one's PAC 273 that we were using earlier. And I'm gonna go into Dystopian, which is this dark brown shade right here from the Sultry palette. And I'm basically just using that to soften up the edges of my black. And we can always touch up any areas that got disturbed. And I'm also going to use this to start smoking down the cheek area. And last but not least, the temple. All right. I'm just going to use another kind of a shading brush to fix up some of the smudging. and I'm setting it with that Anastasia, that glow kit. I actually don't have to be so precise because I'm adding other garnish to this whole look. Okay. So at this point, I'm gonna start adding, I wanna add some black detail to my nose, and then we're gonna start adding the black, actually before I even do that, let me finish up this because it's like driving me crazy. So I'm going to now move on to, it's gonna be a little bit more of a fluffier blending brush. Let's see which one I'm gonna use. I will do the Anastasia A12 blending brush, and I'm going into one of the contour colors. So I'm going to go in with the darkest contour shades from the contour palette that I'm using. And I'm just shading in the lower edge. And same on the other side. As you can see, it just kind of softens up the blend. And if you ever feel like you need to go back and add some more of whatever, then you can always do that. I feel like right in here. And now blend. You can always, always, always use your fingers to kind of keep you back on track and pull you in if you went too far. And last but not least, for that area, we can use any small brush. We can use like a cheek brush. This one is from Morphe from the 503 set. And I can just use like a regular flesh tone like this, for example. To just finish off that whole section. And it kind of adds a little contour because it is a little bit darker than the base that I used. Awesome. Okay, so that's that. So now we can add some of that detail. So I'm going to use the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Eyeliner. This is the micro tip one. You could use any type of liquid liner, but I'm going to use the micro tip just so I can get really sharp in there. And by the way, you guys, I opened up an online, it's a curated boutique with fashion stuff. So if you just search Shop Fashionista on Instagram, you'll find their page. I have my own boutique there, which means that I got to choose a bunch of the items from their list that I actually use and love, and that I really wanted to start like using again in my tutorials, because that way you guys can get a discount on it when you buy it. So instead of you guys having to go off and try to get credentials for a pro discount, you're able to shop directly from my online boutique, which is curated specifically for DYFL classes and for all the things that I love, like Stila glitters and like the eyeliners and the Kevyn Aucoin concealer, which I used as a foundation today. A bunch of these items are going to be there, and if there's other items that I'm using constantly, like LA Girl and things like that, I'm going to try to get them on board with that online boutique too. So basically what you're going to do is you can go on there, you can download the app. It's the Fashionista app. And when you go to the Dress Your Face boutique, all of my favorite items are there. These are things that I personally recommend either for yourself or for your models, because those are the things that I use on myself and on my models. And if you download the app and do your first purchase, the code is app30 and you'll get 30% off of everything. These are like, this is Kevyn Aucoin, this is Becca, Stila, I can't even think of any, like there's so many good brands that are very hard to get discounts with. So that's a pro discount. 30% is a typical pro discount amount. So you'll get that off of your first purchase, and I'm working on having like a permanent discount code just for the DYFL members. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, if there's anything that you guys like that I'm using that I'm mentioning is on my boutique on the Fashionista app, just search the Dress Your Face boutique. You'll get your discount if it's your first order and if you're using the app. Also, if you're confused about what I'm even talking about, I explain it in more detail on my Instagram stories highlights on my page. There's a highlight that says in my kit or shop my kit or something like that. If you click on that, it'll show all the things that I'm bringing into the Fashionista boutique, and you can just swipe up from there and get right on there, so you don't even have to worry. So just go to my page if you have questions. So this is a part of that boutique. Imagine 30% off of everything. That's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw in the details of my teeth. So first I'm creating the edge of my mouth line. And now I'm going to outline the areas in between my teeth. And if the tip of the felt tip pen gets a little white, just dab it on like a napkin, shake it up, and it'll activate the flow of ink again. So in the artwork, it shows it shows that each tooth, because it's artwork, is like completely curved out. So if you want to like draw along each tooth separate, that'll make it look more animated. If you want it to look just more scary, then you can just kind of make the lines disappear like I'm doing. So I'm basically done with the top part. I'm going to do the same on the bottom, and then I'll figure out if I want to do anything else. So at this point, if you want to add a little bit more detail to the actual teeth themselves, you can always go back in with the white and see if, you know, there's a little something that you can do. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of that, like fading upward. Okay, so now I just want to kind of set the inner rim of my mouth so it doesn't look so scribbly with black eyeshadow. So going back in with a small shader brush. And now I'm going to add some of that black right on my nose. And going back into the pen, I'm going to do the details of this hole. All right, guys. So now let's work on some of the eye area, the glitter, and kind of just finish off this look. So before I even do that, I'm going to go in with, what do I want to use? I'm going to use a thicker liner. This is the Maneater from Tarte. Mine actually kind of busted a little bit, so it might leak, but I'm just going to take my chances. I'm going to do the eyeliner now. I'm going to use an angled brush just to complete that tail. And I'm going back in with the shader brush to add black eyeshadow right in the crease. I'm also going to use my MAC, I think this is a 239 brush, just to soften up that upper edge. I'm going to use Fresh, which is like an off-white, to soften up that upper edge of my brow. Just so it kind of just shows a little bit more like this side. Okay. As long as my crease is like super, super dark. I'll do the same on the other side. I'm just matching them up. I'm going to use a smaller brush. This one's the PAC 121. And I'm creating a very exaggerated wing because I want this to be very animated. Cool. And now back to the black. Bringing that up into the crease again. Softening up that edge. And now I want to create a little bit of this like open tear duct area. And I'm just using this brush with the black eyeshadow to like fine tune. And now I'll go in with that same shader brush that we've been using for the black to kind of bring it down into that inner wing. I'm just using a lighter powder to soften up. Okay, so that part is now done. Let me work on the lower lashes. I also want to add a little bit of eyeliner on the inner portion of my eye in the waterline. So let's see. I'm just going to use a black automatic pencil. This one's from Tarte. Just to hide the pink of the eye. Okay, so now we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Let me just soften up the edge here. Okay, we are gonna add the lower lash artwork, I guess, and the tears on just one side. So I'm gonna put the tears on the side of the nose ring. So I'm gonna have my nose ring here. So I'm gonna have tears here. I'm first gonna start off with the lashes. And I'm going to perfect them with the same technique that I was using earlier, with this tiny, tiny brush and black eyeshadow. Okay, so lower lashes are there, and I'm just gonna add some tears. Shake some ink back into this thing. and then a smaller tear next to it. Set it with eyeshadow so it doesn't look so chunky. That one looks pretty good. Okay, so the tears are done. Now I can do the lashes on the other side, but no tears on the other side. And set with shadow. Okay. Just perfecting that inner corner. Okay guys, so now overall, like, the animated part is basically done. Let's see what else I want to do here. I'm going to now go ahead and add the glitter. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, I'll add the glitter now. So I have to show you this thing. This is the first time I'm using it on DYFL. You guys are gonna just fall in love. These are the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow products here. I have all 3 shades on the Dress Your Face boutique on Fashionsta. Again, your first order, 30% off the bat when you're doing it on the app. Use the code app30. It talks about it there. There's no secrets. It's all out there. Just search for it on my boutique, the Dress Your Face boutique, and it's all going to be there. I'm going to work on some bundles too, so you guys can get like discounts even if it's not your first purchase. But for those of you who have not ordered there yet, go for it. And like a lot of my girls bought like 2-3 of everything so that they can get that bulk discount and not have to worry about replenishing right away. But you guys used to see this. Like, you'll literally flip out. This one is called Kitten Karma. It's my favorite one. Just look. It's so good. Just look. It just has this most beautiful, glittery gold shine. So I'm going to use it all over the lid, and then I'll fix up the eyeliner and everything, of course. But this is what's going to give us that like Indian bridal look. And right away, I'm going to go ahead and kind of complete that edge there and fix that eyeliner. But seriously, it is such a good product. Such a good product. So when you're doing your own makeup and it's, you know, obviously you can't see how you look with your eyes closed, what I normally do is I'll just take my phone and take a picture of my eye closed. And then I check it, and then I can see if there's like any areas that I need to adjust or clean up. So like the eyeliner is looking just a little bit uneven, so I'm going to go across with my black eyeshadow and try my best to even it out. By the way, you guys, I don't have a mirror right in front of me because it will block you, and I'm not looking at a screen, so this is just, you know, me winging it. Obviously, if you're going to do it on, you know, on yourself or on a client, you'll probably do a better job at the eyeliner, especially because I can't really see what I'm doing, but hoping it's coming out okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I can't really look up all the way. I'm gonna have to do this until I'm done with the drying process of this product. It doesn't take that long to dry, by the way. It's not like loose liquid with a glitter. It does dry really nicely. Now the challenge for me is going to be making sure both sides look the same. Okay, I'm gonna put that glitter away. I'm gonna start working on cleaning up the edges. And fixing up the eyeliner. And setting with black eyeshadow. I'm going to do the quick camera test just to see what it looks like with me looking down. There's just one little piece that I have to fix, and then I should be okay. Okay, so now that that part is done, I can now add glitter to other areas. So I'm going to be adding some right into the tear duct area. As so. And then of course fix up the edge of the line if you need to. And I also want to create a couple of glitter teeth. And I want to make a line of glitter here too. And that way, as you're turning and stuff, it can catch some light, create a nice reflection. And I'll do a little bit right in here as my nose highlight. And now let me work on glitterizing a couple of the teeth. So I think I want to do that one, because in the artwork, as you can see, there's one gold tooth on the artwork. So I'm going to do a couple. I'll do one here and one here. So just so you can see, a couple there. And last but not least, I am going to add a little itty bitty bit of glitter using a small brush. This is the PAC 080. To bring out the brow bone just a bit. Just a sliver. I'm just cleaning up some of the glitter that got too low. There we go. I like a little bit more of a line. Okay. So at this point, let's put on some lashes. We can add a little bit more of whatever afterward. I just want to see what the lashes look like on. And I will be using the Huda Beauty lashes. And it is the Scarlet 08. They're nice and thick, very dramatic, and they have spikes on them, so I thought they would be pretty appropriate for this particular look. And I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my glue. Okay, so the lash glue that I'm using is a House of Lashes, the black adhesive that I just always use. It's seriously the best one in the market. And I'm just gonna run it across the band of the Huda lashes. Get it nice and sticky first. You know what I'm noticing? My brow up here got a little paint on it, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of brown eyeshadow there. Okay. So these are really thick and heavy lashes. It's perfect for this look. Otherwise, when I'm doing brides and stuff like that, I'm really not into the very heavy lashes. I like more wispy. Gonna let this dry for a second, get nice and sticky. And voila. It makes a big difference having lashes on versus not. So now just to kind of complete the inner corner of my eye, I just want to make a little bit of a point, not a full-on wing, but a little bit of a point needs to be done here. I'm going to use eyeshadow to darken it up a little bit. And just to clean up the edges a little bit more, I'm going to go back in with a really tiny brush that I used for the eyebrow area. So I'm just going to clean up the edge. Just so it shows as a end and not too raw there, but not like a full-on wing. I already have that good wing going on there, so I don't really need anything else there. Okay, so now, okay, so I guess what we'll do at this point is if we want to add some detail like between the lashes, I have this gold liquid liner from Urban Decay. It's called the Razor Sharp Longwear Liquid Liner, and it's gold. And I'm gonna just add like little spikes over there between those. Just for a little something. And if we wanted to add some like highlight to the teeth so it doesn't look so white, if we wanted it to be more gold, we can always add highlight to the teeth, the same gold highlight that we had up here. But I'm not really gonna bother with, actually I do want to a little bit. A little bit. I just don't want it to come off so white on camera, so I'm gonna add some Sunburst from ABH. Right onto the teeth to soften up the white. It's really subtle, but it'll do what I want it to do. All right, cool. Okay, I guess at this point, I'm gonna put on some jewelry and start looking like a bride. The only other thing that the artwork had that I kind of wanted to do originally, but I'd rather wear a bindi in this case, is as a bindi of the artwork, it's a little evil eye, which I thought was really, really cool. I really thought that was cool. But I think for the purpose of having this kind of work for, I guess, anyone and not look too, not different, but like to avoid a lot of questions, I'm just not gonna deal with the evil eye and I'm just gonna use a bindi instead. So I brought a bunch of bindis, which are like the sticker dots for Indian brides. And I'm gonna use these to create like the bindi effect that brides that brides wear. And basically what it is kind of like this, where like there's one main bindi in the middle, and then there's like this arch of bindis around the eyebrow, and it's so beautiful. Honestly, like it's so beautiful. So I do want to do that. I'm going to use a larger bindi for the center. By the way, these bindis are from India. My aunt goes to India often, and every single time she's like, what do you want from India? And I'm like, honestly, bindis. That's it. That's all I want is bindis. So she hooks it up. She goes to the markets and just gets a whole bunch of bindis. So I'm going to use a dark red one. Actually, I'll use this bigger red one. And I'm applying it with a tweezer just to be safe. Okay, so that's the main bindi. And I will be using other bindis around. And those are basically just gonna be little rhinestones. Let's see what else I have. Yeah, I have the rhinestones. I have the really, really tiny ones with gold. This one's just a little bit bigger. And then there was another one that I have, which is even bigger than that. And that's these. That'll show up really well, but let's see. Let's see what we need to do here. So you could also use paint. Like I have this other liquid liner from Urban Decay, which is white. The same as the gold, but this is the white one. And you could definitely just like dot white dots if you want instead, which I think I might do in between these stickers, just to like go with the lightness of the teeth too, since it's still like light to me. So this is the sticker pack. So I'm starting off right here, and I'm going to kind of just arch it around. You can also use lash glue if you really want them to stay on a long time. This looks so pretty. And Indian brides actually, usually, traditionally, it goes kind of around the whole orbital bone. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I was planning on doing the white dots in between with the liquid liner, but instead I think I found another bindi piece that I really wanted to use, so I'm going to use that instead. So there's like these little cross design ones, not cross, but it's like an X. And I'm going to use that in between those. Okay, so now this is the traditional Indian bridal look. I am going to add one more of those cross ones right in the center to tie in with the bindi. Just as so. All right. So at this point, I'm going to put on my jewelry and kind of start getting ready. But before I even do that, I will be right back. I'm going to put on one of my Lashkara dupattas. I have this one here that I want to use over my tube top as a shirt right here. So we're going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So right now I'm wearing a tube top, and this is a dupatta that I really loved from my Lashkara collab. And I'm literally just going to wrap it over the black tube top so that it has that dark base, because my dupatta on top of my head is going to be black and gold. So I will be right back. I'm going to put this on. So I put on all the jewelry. Again, this is from one of my students. It's from the SBS Bridesmaid box. They actually have boxes that they sell that's filled with jewelry. These are from a few of the boxes that they've given me. And I absolutely love the fact that I was finally able to wear it. And this is actually not even a tika. These are files. These are anklets that I attached to an earring to make a 3-piece tika because I couldn't find one. And of course, just garnishing with my dupatta from Lashkara, plus using another dupatta as the top over a black tube top just brings the whole thing together. So I'm just going to pose for you guys, and I'll let you guys take screenshots, and of course you can always like screenshot posts that I end up posting with the pictures and the videos and stuff. And I want to see your recreations. I want to know how you would make yourself a bride in a Halloween way. So skeleton bride, corpse bride, whatever it is, definitely tag me and tag dressyourfacelive_com on Instagram so we can repost your beautiful, amazing looks. And I will exit this class with my own posing.